What's up, my couture crafters? Let's get into this video for the box that you see there. I'm working in Design Space as usual, nothing new there. And I'm looking for a tombstone because I want to do a tombstone box. I saw Patty's Crafty Spot, who's probably the most underrated mini album artist out there right now. She doesn't have a lot of followers, but she's a different kind of dynamic. Like, she reminds me of, well, she can just do anything. She can do anything. If she sees it, she can knock it off. And so what I'm doing is knocking off something that I saw her do. Or should I say I'm couturing something that I saw her do. She made 2 tombstone albums, but hers were way more elaborate than these. And she had an amazing paper. But anyway, Patty's Crafty Spot. She's awesome. And that's where I got the idea for this. So of course I have my little mini album and we're going to put my twist on it. So I went ahead and duplicated this tombstone. I took off the first layer and now I'm getting ready to slice into this layer right here. And that will give me that square. So I duplicated the one on the right and now I'm going to push this black piece to the back and then just try to center it up a little bit. And so that square represents the window in the box. Now, it dawned on me before I cut it that I needed to cut that window all the way through the black too. So I did that off camera so that you could see straight through it. And that's how I have the acetate on the front. So here I'm just saving it. I think about it right about now and then I go back and fix it. But you guys don't want to see that. That's not interesting. Just know that I grabbed this template right out of Design Space. And I made it as large as I could for a 12 by 12 mat. And that's all I needed because I think my album measures like 6.5 by 6. It's a mini. And there are my pieces. So scrapbooking makes simple. You know, that's my tape jam. If you are in the area, I suggest you grab some. If you're not in the area, I suggest you grab some, but be prepared to wait up to 30 days for your shipping. Yes, that's a lot, but this tape is worth it and it's affordable. You get so much more on a roll than you will if you do the swoop cane or the whatever. So if you're looking at this right here, notice that I didn't get it dead center. So I cut this on my Cricut, and what I should have done to see center better is added a score line straight down the center, but not put the scoring tool in the Cricut. So when you're looking at your cutting mat on the screen, you know exactly where center is. This is not dead center and it annoys me. If you look at it, it's not dead center and I'm annoyed by that, but that's my own fault. I know better. So that's the tip. When you're in Design Space, add a score mark down the center of your object. Align it center horizontally, and that way just don't put the scoring tool in there. The Cricut doesn't know if the scoring tool is in there or not. Don't put it in there, and that way you'll be able to see exactly where center is on the item that you need to place on the mat. I hope that makes sense to somebody. I hope I just spoke a word in somebody's life with that. So here I am. I'm just marking the I'm matting the panels, not marking them. I'm matting the panels that are going to go on the side. I wish that I could have had more of that paper that's in the back because I would have had the whole inside of the box that paper. If you guys don't know what a hinge is, this right here will change your life. That is a 1.5 strip of paper with some tape on the back. That will change your life. I'm scoring it at 3/4 of an inch, which is right down the center. And that's how you join everything. So anytime you want to do a chipboard box, all you need are some hinges and some chipboard, or some hinges and some cardstock, or some hinges and a cereal box. And that's it. That's how you do it. You can make any shape. You just join it with those. Once you play with them a few times, you will probably get very good at it. You might have never known, but that's it. That's the life changer right there. Hinges. So I took one of the panels that I didn't completely use that had tape on the back, and I'm just cutting around it so that I can make my tombstone curve. If you want to make paper curve, you cut triangles into one of these and then you can curve it. You guys see how it's not dead center? Look at it. Can you see it? Why am I pointing out the flaw in this? I don't know, because it bugs me. So now I want it to bug you guys too. Oh, there's a plane flying over my head. Because yes, I do voiceovers everywhere. Wherever I am, where I have a minute, I will do a voiceover, and that's what we're doing right now. So then I just pulled that hinge up to meet the side, and there you go. Once you do a few of these, you can see somebody's stuff and just duplicate it. It doesn't, you'll just see it and be like, oh, I know how they did that. Or I think I know how they did that. That's kind of what happened here. Like I saw it, I was like, man, that's cool. Let me put my own twist on it. Patty's Crafty Spot, she's amazing. She is, I'm telling you, probably the most underrated artist, paper artist there is out right now. She doesn't have a ton of subscribers, but she's off the chain. And she comes up with some of the coolest stuff. And she also can see stuff and just do it. And I'm a big fan of hers. And I don't know if I talked about her already, but she's where I saw this pattern. And so I'm just putting my spin on what she did. I don't even know if this is a real spin. I'm just, yeah, it's kind of got my spin to it. Because I have no idea how she did it, but this is how I'm doing it. I'm using 110-pound cardstock and black chipboard. My black chipboard is lightweight. I like lightweight chipboard. I like that black lightweight chipboard because it bends. You don't have to worry about trying to make it so that it bends. You can make regular scoreboard bend too, chipboard, but the work that it takes to make it curve annoys me. So I'd rather just use lightweight chipboard where I can. So here's where it gets tricky. I took 1-inch panel on that side. It just so happens that that's a perfect 1 inch from left to right. Yay for the designer for the tombstone. Now I'm running a score mark down the sides, right next to that chipboard piece. And just playing with it. And that sticky stuff at the top of that back panel is tape. And so now I'm just putting some tape on my side here. Again, this is not a tutorial. I'm just kind of letting you guys see how I think. How I do stuff. No measurements, nothing interesting here. I'm just saw a design and I'm trying to make it work. And I really am not too careful about the construction of it because at the end of the day, you just cover it with pretty paper. So whatever's happening underneath there is just happening underneath there. I have no idea if I'm doing this the right way, but I did get to the final goal of what I was thinking. So there are many things that I would do different if I was doing this again. One of which are the way that I'm cutting these tabs. It's been a while since I have used a hinge in this way, and yeah, I wasn't even paying attention, and one of these hinges ends up underneath the design. You'll see it happen. Again, there's no sense in me editing out my mistakes. I make them daily in my arts and crafts world, and I want you guys to see it happen. See how I fix it. Do I fix it? Do you like the way I fix it? Or are you over there laughing at me? Are you yelling at the computer like, don't do that, it's wrong, don't do it? So I'm putting that in the corner. I am buckling it. And I'm just pulling that tape over. There's a hinge right there in my left hand. And I'm just pulling that tape over so that it sticks. Perfect, it's sticking. So now I'm just going to form the top of that box and pull that tape down. Now you see how that tab is underneath? Why am I not seeing that? Because I'm working from a different, I'm much lower than this album. This album is actually above my head right now. Yeah, it's above my head and I didn't see it. I wish that I had been working on top of it because then when I saw it, I was very annoyed. But I'm forming this. I didn't have my hinge ready to close this side, so I had to go ahead and grab another hinge and put it on there. Hinges will change your life, guys. Excuse me. I tell you, you will be able to make anything just with the hinge. That hinge right there, that's it. That's how you do stuff. That's how you do all the things with hinges. That's how you connect chipboard and cereal boxes and everything. And there, I see it. See, I'm annoyed. I'm like, what's that doing under there? I was all excited. I was like, oh, I got it on the money. It was perfect. I didn't see any gaps. And then look what happened. Oh, so annoyed. So now we're just pressing it down and burnishing a little bit. And that's not cute, but we're going to cover that with paper. Hopefully. Hopefully paper will bend right over there without it being an issue. I don't know. I don't know. This is my first time attempting this. So we'll all just kind of learn together. Old school Recollections used to have an acetate paper stack. Wish that they had more, because I get very nervous about using acetate, because I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm not going to have any more. I'm hoarding it. Now, is there acetate out there in the world? Absolutely. You guys use acetate all the time, but for whatever reason, I hoard those sheets of acetate. I really like that it comes in a pack. Makes me happy. It's the little things. All right, so I'm running some more Scrapbooking Made Simple tape around the perimeter as usual. You guys know Scrapbooking Made Simple. That's that Stacy tape. Stacy tape. I think Stacy's having a sale this weekend, so I might try to run over there tomorrow early. Run over there. It's kind of a 45-minute drive, but you guys are worth it. Is tomorrow October 1st? No, I can buy. I can still spend. Yep, doing it. I don't like that the tape was right there, so this is me removing it. I was flicking it and just rubbing it around with my finger, and it'll come off before it has been truly adhered well. So this is the back, and I am placing the acetate improperly first and then properly, hiding it behind everything. You shouldn't be able to see that part. And now I don't know what I'm doing. What am I doing? Oh, I'm cutting the front part so that I can fit the tombstone front to it. So I'm going to glue this top piece to that piece. Just making it work, guys. Just really trying to make it work. That is chipboard that the window piece is cut out of. That's 110-pound cardstock that I'm cutting into right now. Both black. I just cut a curvy shape with the big scissors. I like Tim Holtz scissors because Tim Holtz scissors are sticky resistant, non-stick. Don't love that I did that. That wasn't this right here. Yeah, I broke the paper. So the paper has a very distressed look right there now. Oh well. I wish I hadn't done that. So then I'm just going to start cutting triangles into this. And the object of cutting triangles out for your hinges is to try to cut the triangle out so it falls out on its own. You don't want to have to be pulling on the paper like I'm doing right there, right here. Did I get one where I cut it completely out? There, I cut one out. Oh, that one I didn't. Yeah, I'm not playing the game right. Whatever. It works. So now what I'm doing, I am looking for another hinge. In hindsight, if I were doing this again, this hinge I would put behind the paper. So this is a 1.5 strip of paper scored at 7 3/4. And I'll tell you right now, you'll see. So I'm fitting this to see if it's going to fit, if it's going to make a nice shape, and it actually does. I can't believe this worked. You know, you have stuff in your head, you see people do stuff, and you're like, I think I can do that. And my husband always says, what have you tried that you couldn't do? I'm like, I don't know, but everything doesn't come out right all the time. So right here, I wish that the tape for one side of this was on the opposite side. So right here, you're going to see me place the hinge. I wish that there was tape where my fingers are right now on the outside. So that way I could have hidden it better. You'll see what I'm saying. You'll see it in a second. I wish that I had tape on one side and then tape on the other side. That would have been, if I were doing this again, I would definitely make that note. Because again, the tape is on that side, but instead of it being on the inside, I wish the tape was on the outside right there, not the inside, the other side of that. So that just means I would have put tape down one side of the hinge and then flipped it over and put tape on the other side. Sorry guys, I do voiceovers wherever I can, and right now I'm sitting outside and the planes are going by, so you know, just bear with me, just hang out with me, be okay with all the foolishness that's happening right now. So I'm lining it up on the left hand side first. Can you see in those cracks? You see where I cracked that paper? That paper did not like being scored the way that I scored it. Now, I'm folding that hinge over. If I had tape on the other side, I wouldn't be trying to hide that. It does not look good. There's no way of getting around that. You see how that, I think I used 65-pound cardstock right here. Maybe it's 110, but I'm wrapping it around the front. I wish that I had tape on the other side of that hinge so I could have just pushed it down. And that way I would have had a completely clean and seamless front. So now I'm just pushing down the tape tabs. What? Is it making the tombstone shape? It is. I feel like this is more of a mausoleum than a tombstone. I feel like this is totally mausoleum-esque. That's what I should call it, mausoleum. So it fits. Again, I couldn't hide those. I just couldn't hide it. It doesn't look clean. So I cut a piece of cardstock, 110 pound, and I just layered it on the front. And since this is lightweight chipboard, my project liked that I did that. It just gave it more stability. So I'm placing it over there so you can't see the hinges. I did not like that. That really bugged me. And now on the sides, like it's just not quite as seamless as I wanted it. But that's okay, because we're going to camouflage it with pretty things. So I cut out another piece of decorative paper with the same pattern that's in the back, and I centered it. This one here, I used the score mark trick, and I got a better center than I did in the one in the back. In my opinion, I got a better center. It's still not on the money, but it's close. It's much closer. And I like this. I like it. I like it. It looks pretty darn good. Is it perfect? Mm-mm. But it looks good. So I played with it a little bit. I checked to see if it fit over the little album there, and it does. So now I decide, you know what? It needs a base bottom. So this is me just making little mini hinges and placing the cardstock on the chipboard. Again, I'm not doing measurements or anything like that. This is just watching me create and making this album. Sometimes people enjoy watching me just ramble on and create. This gives you an idea how to do things on your own, how to DIY your own stuff. And there we go, just using many little hinges there. And using my pin blade to take the backing off. There we go. And we're going to use some glue. And the object of this is just to glue the thing down. It's not a pretty process. It is quite messy. You see I have on gloves. I'm using this different type of glue for this because I really needed the glue to come out. I haven't done this in a long time, so I know I'm not doing it right per se, but it's going under paper, so you won't be able to see my mess. But when I tell you I made a mess with this, I did. And when I was making projects in the past, I don't ever remember making a mess like this, but whatever. So I just flipped it over, made sure to get make sure to get my hair in the shot, but just pushing it in, locking it in, and smoothing that glue around. Kind of like caulking. Caulking. You guys ever caulk your bathrooms yourselves? Do you guys build all the things? Do you guys play with wood and stuff like I do too? So yeah, you're just trying to get it in the corners, and then you smooth it out. Again, nobody's going to see it. Nobody's going to see this. And I like how it looks on the back. It's actually smooth. It doesn't look like it because it's a hot mess right now, but you get the picture. So we'll just put some glue on this one too. This is the larger one, and it is cut so not right. But again, I just needed it to... It's going to look cool, I think, if I cover it properly. Now I really want to cheat the way that I cover this, and I don't want to put hinges to finish the edges, but I don't think I'm going to be able to get away with not doing that. Hinges is the way of the world, but I try to get away from making them and using them. I hate it. I don't know why. I don't like making hinges and using them, but I'm going to do it. I have to do it to finish the edges so that it looks nice and clean. You'll see what I'm talking about when I put it all together. So I'm just rubbing and massaging it and trying to get it to stick. And this glue will dry mostly clear, but it dries with a shiny finish, so you will see this glue. So you don't want to. It probably would be better to use art glitter glue, but my art glitter glue has that super tiny nozzle on the one that I'm using right now, and I didn't want to take it off, and I didn't want to open up the new bottle, you know. So I just used this tacky glue, and this might be a reason to keep tacky glue around for a while. I said I was going to get rid of it and then I never needed it again, but for this right here, I like using that. I feel good about it. Yes, I'm getting glue all over that glass mat. I grabbed some Purell and my little scraper tool, put the Purell on the glass mat, left it there for a bit. Then I scraped it off a little bit and then took a paper towel and did that twice, and it was back to new. It was back to very, very new. So yeah, this was the first one. Then I did it again. Then I started scraping it with my little scraper tool. No worries. You see where I need to use the hinges to cover those brown spots? You guys, thanks so much for hanging out with me if you made it all the way through. See you later.